It's at 937 Hartford's number one for hip hop and R&B. I'm Jenny Boom Boom with Royce the 5'9". Hello, sir.
Hello, ma'am.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I was excited to find out you were coming in today.
Well, I'm excited to be here. You look great.
Oh, thank you. I'm working on it. You look very healthy.
I'm very well. I'm not going to.
Yeah. So tell me about the album.
It's my most important body of work. It's my most complete body of work. It's my most feature heavy, even though I can't announce all the features.
Yeah. So I know J. Cole's involved. So you have a song with J. Cole.
Yeah.
So
I got J. Cole on the album. I got Marsha Ambrosius on the album. Those are two that I
you're a
can name.
superstar. You're Royce the 5'9".
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I just wanted to, I wanted to do what I wanted to do. I knew exactly what I wanted to say on the album. I knew exactly how many pieces that I needed until it was complete. I mean, I pretty much I could feel it, you know what I mean? So I worked on it. I took as much time as I needed to work on it. And here it is. It's ready to go.
Well, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
I'm very excited about this album. And of course, back in the spring, you released another album with DJ Premier, P Rhyme 2. So congratulations on that too. Why do you guys like working together so much?
I think it's because of our relationship. You know what I mean? Like, when you vibe with somebody, like as a person, it's very easy to go in and just create music. The same way with Slaughterhouse, you know what I'm saying? Like when you're cool and you get in there, it's like you having these conversations and then you look up and 6 songs is done. You know what I mean? Like that's how it is with me and Preem. It's always easy work. And Prime, the idea, like just a quick rundown of what Prime is, it's like it's a group with me, myself and Preem. Preem only pulls music from one source to chop. So we found one composer. The first album, it was Adrian Young. They create all the music, and he pulls only from that catalog to make the beats out of. This album, the second album, Prime 2, is Ant-Man Wonder. So if we end up doing another one, we'll find a whole another source to pull from. Maybe Madlib or somebody like that.
It's interesting because I've listened to the albums and I didn't even know that that's the story behind it. I'm really glad that you explained that to me. Thank you very much.
Yep, he said that on the intro. He kind of like ran it down, but he ran it down in his like Preem sort of way.
He was here a few months ago and he told me that y'all were working together again. I was very excited about it.
So you interviewed him?
Yes, I did.
You had to.
And we tried to do a Snapchat together, which was 10 seconds, and boy, we had to take 20 takes. That man speaks so slow. I was like, hurry up, Premier!
How many stories did he tell during the interview?
There was a lot of stories. Really amazing, wonderful stories.
Yep, that's how he is in the studio.
Yeah.
Like he got stories for days, and it just kind of draws you in. And I'm talking about somebody who, like, usually if we're doing a session, he gonna leave you waiting at least an hour. If he's like, and if you put him in a position where he's in control, like if you like we in New York or something like that, and I'm waiting for him at D&D, oh, you're gonna be waiting. And then when he gets there, you can't even be mad at him because he's so cool, and then the stories are so dope, and he's DJ Premier. I'm still taken aback by the fact that I've worked with DJ Premier.
Yeah.
Like I used to write letters to D&D studios when I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like trying to get in there. You know what I mean? And telling myself if I ever go to New York, I'm going to work at D&D Studio because I like the way their vocals sound and I want to work with DJ Premier.
That's interesting.
And then when I signed to Tommy Boy, he was the second producer that I worked with.
Whenever I see Premier, I like having conversations about Guru with them because I'm still a huge Gang Starr fan. I'm a huge Gang Starr fan, and it's like the things he tells me about Guru. I think, I don't know, it's some of the best moments of my life when I sit and talk to him about
great man. That's a great man.
Because I'm a big Gang Starr fan.
Yeah.
Slaughterhouse, you mentioned Slaughterhouse. What's happening? No more Slaughterhouse.
No more Slaughterhouse.
Yikes.
No
That's heartbreaking.
Is it?
Yeah. I think for Slaughterhouse fans, because, there is such an amazing dynamic between the four of you. And seeing you guys on stage, how you played off each other. Listening to your records, how you guys were just like this. It's so interesting to me. Like I can understand one person being able to be on a record by themselves, but when you take 4 people with 4 different personalities and 4 different types of talents, and you put them all together on the same record, and it's just flawless sounding. It's just something so beautiful about that. I mean, that's how I feel.
Wow, I appreciate that. I guess the way that I look at it is like we didn't start off our careers as group members, so it's kind of like how long can it last? I knew it had an expiration date. I just didn't know when, and I figured it would probably be once we began to grow as men and as artists, and we get in different headspace where we're not as like-minded as we were. Like when we first started the group, all of us had the same goal, the same intention,
Which was what? What was the intention?
Let's fill that void in hip hop that's missing, like the lyrical. Like let's bring bars back. Let's bring bars back. Let's come back. Let's chop MCs' heads off and let's just have fun with this. You know, all of us are individually tearing up the internet. Let's get together and do it.
So wait, bring me back because, you know, I haven't talked to, I don't know if I've talked to you individually about this before, but how did this, how did it start?
It started with a song, yeah. It started with a song. So Joe called everybody to be on a song on his mixtape called Halfway House.
Okay, I remember that mixtape, yeah.
He called me and I asked him who else was going to be on the song. He named everybody that was going to be on the song, which was all the members of the group.
Right.
And I said, wow, that sounds like a Slaughterhouse. And he was like, ha ha, I might call the song that. You know what I mean? So he ended up calling the song Slaughterhouse.
So it was you. It was you.
It was all of us. It was all of us. It started off a conversation between Joe and myself. You know, so when he put the song out in the way that it was received, he called me back and was like, yo, do you see this? Like, we got to do more stuff together. I was like, yo, I'm down. And we just started doing more music together. Next thing you know, we were on a Rock the Bells tour together. So we never had a plan to even sign to a label. It was my idea to bring us to Shady. Mm-hmm. We never even had a plan to even do that. We never planned to just be a real group. We planned.
Maybe that was part of the fun of it.
Exactly.
Because there was no plan.
Exactly.
Y'all would just it was almost like living in a fraternity or something.
Yeah,
like y'all was streaking in the middle of the night.
Exactly. That's
like
exactly,
an old school.
That's exactly what it was. A great analogy. That's exactly what we were doing. We were just having fun, just being in the moment. And now it's like, I just heard Joe say something on his podcast where he said he's a businessman. That's like new to me. Joe's a businessman now. Joe is a businessman. You know what I'm saying? Joel has things that he's doing. He's doing some stuff with Fred the Godson. It's super dope. Crooked is like constantly doing stuff. I got stuff that I'm doing with Preem. You know, I got my albums. You know, like I stopped drinking, so I got like tons of stuff to say that needs to be said in a certain. It's time sensitive. I need to hurry up and get these things out.
Interesting.
And Joe's doing media. He's doing very well with that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like we're just in different spaces. So it's like hard to get all of us together to just stop what we're doing to invest time in Slaughterhouse. Because we're going to have to invest time in order for the brand to even start making money again.
Did it start to feel like work after a while anyway?
No. Like my last memories of Slaughterhouse were still fun.
The reason why I'm asking you that because I felt like whenever I interviewed you guys, I was always like, okay, so what's happening with the next album? When are you guys going tour again? I felt like I was always asking the same types of questions, and I felt like you guys were all kind of like, it's coming, you know, and I wasn't quite sure what the direction was.
That was probably, was that after we signed Shady?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, once you get on a major label, it becomes harder for you to answer those questions.
So I wasn't quite sure if y'all was having the fun you were having, you know?
Oh, we was having fun.
I used to love watching you guys like on the internet and stuff. Y'all had those little episodes and stuff, and when you guys were touring, you guys were hilarious. It was almost like, you know, back in the day, like you would watch like a comedy show, like maybe like, I mean, I don't know how old you are, but in my day, people used to watch this show called The Monkees about the group The Monkees. Remember how funny they were, like all together?
Yeah.
Y'all could have had a really good show.
Yeah, I mean, I miss it. I mean, I really wish we could do it, but I understand why it's not happening. I do understand it, and I accept it. You know what I mean? It'd be different if like somebody was doing bad or something. You know, like if I was looking at one of the members, like, wow, look how he's doing.
But are you guys getting along? Because like I'm looking over here on this tweet that you sent. Actually, I think it was today, where somebody said, "Blanking at Shady Records, always leaving artists on the shelf. It might as well be called the Eminem Show." And you said Shady Records didn't shelve us, bro. Stop listening to Podcast Joe.
Yeah, Podcast Joe is like a whole nother person. You're like a whole nother person that I'm getting used to. I'm getting used to Podcast Joe, but it's not no problem. It can never be a problem. That's still my brother. That's still family. He just irritates me a little bit sometimes with some of the things that he says. Probably because I just know him. I know him and I know what his motive is sometimes. And sometimes he says things and doesn't even mean anything by it. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's me too just having to work on not taking things so personal that he says. But
don't you think that Joe, like being Joe, and we all know Joe, is that type of person that he takes that little piece of straw or a little needle or whatever, and he just pokes you a tiny bit with it just to see, just to kind of see what your reaction is going to be.
Very nagging, irritating little brother.
No, well, I mean, I wouldn't say nagging and irritating, but he purposely knows how to kind of manipulate people in a way to see how they're going to react to it.
Sometimes.
But yet, at the same time, I think that when Joe Budden talks, he's really telling how he feels. Like, I think he's telling the truth. No?
Okay. With what?
Well, I just feel like when he's speaking a lot
we don't have any label issues. Like our issue with the album is just that we didn't finish it. Like the label is basically like.
Are they waiting for an album still? Is Shady Records still want a Slaughterhouse album?
I don't know about that. You know, I don't know about that right there, what you just said, but I do know that the ball was just in our court. Like Joe, whenever Joe describes it, he describes it like, I don't know, he has this thing in his head where he just always has to be against the machine. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, whenever he describes it, he always makes it sound like the label, it did something to us to where they're doing some type of bad business or something like that, where nothing happened on the business end that I could remember at all. It was just like, we're waiting on y'all. Whenever y'all ready to go in and do the album, we just couldn't figure out a time where all of us were free. I can remember a time where I was at the studio in Detroit waiting on them and they didn't even show up. You know what I mean? So it's just like, as far as just finishing the album, if Shady wanted to put it out as is right now, I would feel like creatively it's incomplete. It's not all the way done. And I think Joey would agree. If he's willing to be truthful, he would agree, because there's a lot of things that he touched on that he touched on other projects already. It just needed to be freshened up. We just haven't done that. If we went in and took a week to freshen it up, it would be ready to go. We just nobody can agree on when that week is going to be.
This must also put you in kind of a bad situation, Royce, only because you have loyalty towards your friend Eminem.
It's loyalty, and it's like I brought the guys over. I introduced them.
Right. So it's like you vouched for everybody. Like,
yeah, it's like I vouch for them. Now it's just like come on, let's take it to another label. Let's go
and
somewhere.
Like, this
let's
is
go
my
somewhere
guy,
else.
though. This is like, Eminem, like, who's been helpful and.
No, it's like, bro, we signed a contract here. Like, when I sign a contract, when I do business, I like doing good business.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't like signing contracts and then turn around and say, I'll forget that contract. Let's go somewhere else and try to get more money somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, bro, if I agree to something, I'm a man of my word. I like to see it through.
Right.
You know, regardless of who it's with. I don't care if it's with Jesus Christ. Like, let's just do this. Let's see it through. If you're in a group with 3 other people and you got to get them to agree and everybody starts thinking differently, then, that's problematic. It's not a problem with the individuals. It's just, different people do business different ways.
Right. No, I completely understand where you're coming from.
I respect it. Like, I don't agree with everything, but I mean, I love Joe. I love Joel. I love Crook. And, like, it went like this for a long time, and then now it's just to the point where it's just like, it's not happening now.
So Joe said he's retiring from rap anyway.
That's cool. What he's doing is dope. Yeah. What he's doing, like, he's filling another void in music and in the culture that's needed. I think what was happening was, sometimes you're guilty by association. Slaughterhouse, the brand, reached this magnitude where it's like, you could be trying to do some things solo, and people will keep saying, yo, what's up with Slaughterhouse?
Right, that was the question I was always asking you guys.
if you can't provide that answer while you're trying to do separate business, sometimes it's good to disassociate yourself in order to be able to move forward. And I think that's where Crook is coming from a business standpoint.
I don't know if that's a good business standpoint to be going by, though.
That's a Crook thing.
Yeah.
That's a Crook thing. I support him, whatever he wants to do.
And meanwhile, Joel Ortiz is working with Fred the Godson, and they complement each other like...
I love it.
It's kind of like a whole renewed thing, it feels like, with these two, right?
I always wanted to see Joel, like, do more work with, like, guys from his city and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, I think Brooklyn has they got a lot of talent.
Absolutely.
Like, they can really come up as a city. I distinctly remember doing, when we did the Detroit vs. Everybody record with everybody, Mano reaching out to me and just being like, bro, like that, y'all did that song, it brought a tear to my eye. Like, to see y'all unified like that. So it's like the main guys, like the leaders out there, they're looking for that unification.
Because a lot of times you don't find that.
Yeah, you don't. City, like, people in cities, they compete with each other first. We did that in Detroit when I first started coming up, and I regret it still to this day.
But there has to be a certain amount of competition when you're starting your career. I mean, it can be healthy competition.
We competed within Slaughterhouse every time we got in the studio. It's fun competition.
Right.
But together. Unity always.
So when you're saying, like, when you first started your career, you felt like it was negative.
We didn't unify.
Yeah.
We didn't unify. We competed with each other. We didn't unify. And, so as individuals, we all went on to become successful. But as a city, the city took a hit. because of that, because we were all just scattered out. You know what I mean? And like the industry didn't pay attention to Detroit like they would have. And we didn't open up the doors for the next generation of artists to come through as wide as we could have. Big Sean could have had a way easier time than he had. He had a tough time becoming who he is.
And actually had to have somebody from Chicago embrace him.
Exactly. There you go.
Speaking of Chicago, I saw last night Crooked Eye. He decided to comment on this whole Kanye West thing, and he said something interesting. He said, "I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat, just don't be a racist, a rapist, a pedophile. You get the point." What do you think about what happened with Kanye?
I don't really think about it.
Yeah.
I don't really think about it. I mean, it's Kanye. It's like
a musical genius.
He's a musical genius for sure. That can't even be argued. I think I'm probably more taken aback by how much people care. Like how much people like want him. What do they want him to be? Like what they want him to be, or what? Like what's happening here?
I don't know.
If he is in the sunken place, okay, is there another place that you would like for him to be?
I think that I'm going to talk personally. I have a very hard time since last January watching the news, watching these panels talk about what's going on in the White House, watching a speech from Donald Trump. I have a very hard time with it. Like it's hard. It's almost hard to swallow. And it's not because I'm a Democrat. Because if John McCain, was going to run again, or I have no problem with Republicans.
Yeah.
But it's because of who he is. He's not like he's turning out to not be a good person. We knew that. We knew that. But
yeah, that's different because I got feelings about Trump.
Right.
I do care about that.
Right.
Because he's the ruler of the free world. Like he's the controller of our country.
Right.
That's different.
And
my feelings have to be involved with that.
And it's very scary. And so I think that what it was is when people see one of their favorite people, Kanye, who we've seen him in his ups and his downs, actually embrace somebody that is so oppressive to minorities, is not a good person in general, considering we know the extramarital stuff that's happened. Just all of the things that are happening around families being pulled apart and being deported. It's such an emotional issue. So when you see like somebody like Kanye that you're like rooting for and you love, embrace him, it's like it's mind blowing.
I can understand that.
So I think that that's why people care. I think that people feel sad about it.
Yeah.
Because like I said, it had a different Republican got into office, like I'll say John McCain. Heck, I would even take Jeb Bush, and he's not even the smartest. But it would have been a much different situation for us now as a country than it is.
He does have a lot of. He's definitely one of the most influential of the artists that I've seen, probably in the last 10 years, maybe. Probably the most influential since Jay-Z that we've seen. So I get that. I understand.
I think that's why people were so upset yesterday.
I understand why people feel.
And then Chance the Rapper tried to interject, and everybody was jumping on Chance. And he was right what he said. Not all black people have to be Democrats. They don't. Absolutely not. It's not a Democrat Republican thing. It was a Kanye embrace Donald Trump thing.
I'll tell you one thing. That Trump signature looks crazy.
I saw you put it up on your Twitter.
It looks like polygraph scribbles with horns on them.
I saw you.
Why is it so long? I can understand you not being able to read it because you can't read my signature either. I write like a doctor. But bro.
Sometimes that's a good thing though.
Yeah.
Because nobody knows what your name is.
I've never seen nothing like that.
That's a good way to be.
Yeah.
I like you, Royce. I'm so glad you came in today.
Thank you
I'm glad that
very
we got to talk to each other.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Book of Ryan, May 4th.
May 4th.
Look